Celebrating 8 years in India, RICS brought together industry leaders and professionals to a milestone event, the Turning Point in Built Environment. Sachin Sandhir, Global MD Emerging Business at RICS, talked about the small steps taken by RICS towards creating professionalism.
I'm delighted to welcome you to this RICS conference on Turning Point in Built Environment in the perform-or-perish economy. Some months ago, when we were thinking about the conference theme, it seemed like important reforms and schemes like the Real Estate Regulation Authority, the GST, REITs, 100 smart cities, housing for all, etc. were going to bring about the industry to a turning point. From the current standpoint, the theme couldn't have been more apt, as it is truly a turning point, not just for the industry, but for the country. It has been a roller coaster ride for the sector the last 2 years. We've had our share of highs and lows. The message to the industry from all quarters is quite clear: shape up or ship out. The lows have received a lot of attention, and we are now perhaps at our lowest ebb. We would have to go back to the drawing board and start from ground zero. There will be plenty of pain in the sector for some time to come, although the long-term outlook for the sector is bright, and things are bound to get better with all the positive reforms and transparency measures. The conference theme today, the Turning Point in Built Environment, seeks to have a very focused debate on what we think are the most important areas that will shape the direction of the industry henceforth. With RERA, REITs, and GST just around the corner, it is time for the industry to raise the bar, improve standards, transparency, and corporate governance, many of which will become a necessary requirement. Adoption of international standards is inevitable as real estate trade and flow of money becomes cross-border, and international investors ask for financial reporting in the same language that they are used to seeing in their markets. I'm certain that this industry will have to move towards being professional, and qualification norms and standards will become part of the regulatory requirements in the future. I would now like to take the opportunity to show a small AV reflecting our journey of the past and future. tried to take small steps in these 8 years. I now call on my industry friends and colleagues to join RICS in restoring trust, confidence, and respect in our sector. Thank you so much.
The event also witnessed the launch of the second campus of RICS School of Built Environment, Amity University at Mumbai, in the presence of Dr. Sean Tompkins, Global CEO of RICS, Ms. Amanda Clark, the President of RICS, Dr. Aseem Chauhan, Chancellor, Amity University, Professor Jagdish K. Mutt and Professor K.T. Ravindran, Dean of Mumbai and Noida campuses. RICS School of Built Environment offers specialized bachelor's and master's programs in real estate and construction. With 1,500 students currently, the school will have 10,000 students over next 5 years across both campuses.
Skills are key for land, property, construction and infrastructure. And here in India, we need to build professional capability through the School of the Built Environment and the RICS professional qualification to literally help build India's future.
In my belief, it is a truly pioneering exercise, not only in the Indian context, but maybe in the whole world, to have a professional body and a university come together and take such a broad view on what we can together do in close collaboration to create a new generation of leaders for a particular sector.
RICS has played a big role as being the first institution to really look at professional real estate degrees. Can you imagine, a few years back, we did not have a single professional degree or course in India in real estate. And today we're moving at this part. So when we talk about this Amity and RICS built environment being opened in Mumbai, it's a big step.
Congratulating RICS, the Honourable Minister of Railways Shri Suresh Prabhu emphasized the role of chartered professionals.
We are trying to make new roads, we are trying to construct new cities, and with that we'll actually create a new thinking in the country, which is so much required as a prerequisite for creating anything new in the world. I'm very happy that our Honourable Prime Minister has already said that we are going to create new 100 smart cities. Some are brownfield, like the ones which exist, we'll try to rebuild them and try to make them complete, holistic and self-sustaining in more or less all the manner. So I'm very happy that a professional body like the RICS, which has surveyors which are so important for building any new organization, new infrastructure, so they are the ones who are organizing this event. As you know, the railways are an integral part of any urban area, for that matter any social and economic activity of the country. I already tied up with Ministry of Urban Development to wherever there is going to be a smart city, we are going to have a smart station. No one can think about a smart city without a smart station anyway, and that thinking smart, right? That you think smart so that you can have a smart city as well as a smart station at the same time. In that, we would need a lot of professional expertise to be brought in. So surveyors will play a very key role, and I welcome their participation, their enthusiasm, their activities, ideas, so which can actually help us to plan better. Let me welcome the new initiatives of the RICS in many areas, including having schools for the professionals. I think that is very important now, because we cannot have just skilled labor, but we need to build on professional organizations to impart training and knowledge to people who will be at a little bit higher apex of the entire value chain that is required of human resources, which will build up new cities and new India. So therefore, while we need at the bottom the skilled labor, we need in the middle the skilled professionals, we also need at the top very professional outlook, and that can happen only when we have an integration of several institutions which can come together. So let me congratulate the RICS again, offer them my best help as well as best wishes. Thank you very much.
Attracting talent, developing professionals and building leadership are fundamental to RICS. On the other side of the break, a panel of eminent leaders talk about changing times and improving gender diversity in the real estate sector. Stay tuned.
Honest now about the real estate industry. There is a reason why in a business that has largely in India been family driven, the women of these families don't join this business. And I'll start with Sanjay. Sanjay, you know what I'm talking about. There is a reason why women are not comfortable in this industry. Are you comfortable telling us why?
One important thing that we should look at is look outside of NCR, Mumbai, and Bangalore, because in these three cities you will have a lot of women who have been given an environment to kind of excel. But if you look outside of this space, you will see why women have not come forward, and that's largely to do with the fact that when you actually go about doing real estate business, there's a lot of emphasis on how you go about acquiring land, and then how you go through the licensing process, and the way you go about conducting yourself as a business during this part of your business. And then the organized part of the business, which is really construction and marketing and promotion, comes in, where you actually can really engage, which is the organized part of the business. If you don't master the art of acquiring, building a business, and excel in an environment where actually even the men actually fear, not necessarily only the women, it's not easy.
I just want to add something here. You know, I want to step back. The way I'm seeing is as if getting women into the corporate sector, and especially real estate, is an obligation. There is no other choice. We have to harness the people in our country and in the world. And the world, I know there is female feticide and things happening, and the percentage is not 50-50. But we have between 49.5% to 50% women.
Correct.
So, you know, you have to harness resources like you harness a chartered accountant and a MBA or an engineer. You have to harness women because they are resources available to you. So it would be foolhardy for companies to think we are doing an obligation. It is just, you have no choice. So
Sean, you wanted to come in with
Yeah, look, I'll give you the numbers for RICS. 60% of our workforce is female. 40% of our board are female. We have a female president, Amanda Clack, who's also a partner of Ernst & Young, responsible for infrastructure. Look, I think there are ways of really bringing about change. It's a very interesting debate. And many of the things you talk here aren't just about India. They are global. As Anuj said, if you travel around the world, you will see that we haven't created the diversity that we need. However, I think the important thing is, don't look back at how people used to think about the real estate and construction industry, because I think that you won't find the solution. Moving forward, we're talking about embracing new ways of working. We're talking about building things for people. Yeah, we are talking about creating environments where people live, work, and play. We need more collaboration, greater relationship development. These are all things that females can really bring into the industry. And I think there are two things that we see here. Male leaders as well need to be positive champions of change. We go to far too many conferences and panels where we sit on panels of only men. I've taken the pledge as the chief executive of RICS that I won't do that anymore. I think actually I would challenge the leaders in the industry not to sit on those panels and actually make a positive difference to, I think, the way in which the industry can work. I think, secondly, there is a real issue here. We need to encourage more female role models.
I want to take the discussion back to, 96, 97, when, organized real estate started to get established in this country.
Right.
I'm fortunate to have a panel where a lot of my colleagues here were part and parcel of starting professionalism in real estate before regulation happened. And regulation is now happening, but Anuj with JLN and formerly with Chesterton, Anshuman with CBRE, Sanjay in their own field have been, their companies have brought professionalism into this country prior to regulation. And the problem that you have put on the table and we're all discussing, I don't know of any other companies that have served this better in real estate. I think a lot of our talent in the real estate pool comes from these companies, both men and women. I have had an experience in working in 4 countries, and as a matter of fact, India has been the only country where I have not felt gender disparity in real estate, even though it exists, right?
There was a time when women had to deny your sexuality in order to be in the workspace. I am not a woman. I'm not going to think I'm a woman. I'm going to be one of the boys. I'm going to dress like one of the boys.
There again, I'm saying I agree completely. The only thing is, again, I'm saying is this is okay in a financial institution or a company like what they are heading, Sanjay and Anuj, the banks, there are a lot of women. But what you're saying is very true. We are talking about the real estate developers. That's where we need the change to be brought. I suggest what Magicbricks should do is frankly have sessions for these owners of these companies and explain to them how important it is to have women and also the advantages of having women on their board and on their senior level. I'm sure if you have various sessions, it will come through.
So I'll start with you. One concrete solution that you think people in this room can go home with today, that we can actually action in our offices?
I think it's leaders creating the change that enables more female role models. So an example is the pledge that I've taken, which is I won't appear on panels unless they have diversity.
Anuj?
You know, to Sanjay's point on development, I absolutely agree that you've got people in you know, the corporate office space, but not on the development side phase. So what I would say is, you know, exactly what Tara is saying. When you get in the developers, say that the facilities, the construction facilities have to be such that allow women to come in. You know, whether it's as basic as having different hygienic toilets for women to be able to come to the construction site and be able to have safety and security. I would say is that will go a long way because we've cracked half of the equation, which is in the corporate office space. I agree with Sanjay is that the balance half that you need to crack is really at the site level and make sure that
that's not what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Making facilities available is the second thing. The first thing is to accept women in these positions. That mind change has to come where the developer community is concerned.
Believe that men can actually believe that the women can actually rise and perform at the highest level. That belief men should have, and belief for women.
How do you make the men in your organization believe that?
I think the men have to realize on their own because Anuj made a point. If you want to succeed today in any business, in any environment, you can't be limited with your vision. And I think we are not. But the belief that yes, women can rise can make a difference. And women, more importantly, more than men, have to believe that they can actually rise and take whatever it takes to take it. And they've done that and they demonstrated in many other sectors. Why is real estate any different?
Creating awareness is really important at every level of the organization. I get a monthly report on recruitment we do, and in that report it clearly shows how many females we hire. So when I said that's the reason I could answer and say 25%, otherwise I wouldn't know. And you asked another question, at the management level it falls to 18% as far as we are concerned. But at every city level, business head level, we share and just create awareness. Look, we still have 25% females, we need to increase it. Please look at talent. And also, again, what Sean said, role models within the organization. So today, if we have a fantastic construction manager in Mumbai or somewhere else who's a female, or we've got head of our capital markets in one city who is a female, that does make a big difference for new talent to come in. So creating awareness and leading by example is the only way forward, I feel it.
I'd like to see more women enter the profession as well. I think we have a fantastic platform with RICS and launch of the school here. And my message would be to encourage women to get themselves professional accreditation to be able to enter the profession of real estate. And there's ample opportunities. The real estate market is just getting regulated. There's more organized capital coming in, and I think this is a great opportunity. I certainly see in the next 15-20 years more and more women. I hope to see within my lifetime, close to 50% of women participating in real estate companies.
Saida?
At the entry level, having mandates but based on merit only. All things remaining equal, are we giving the girl a chance? All things, and I want to give an example here. I'm a part of the IIM Lucknow Board of Governors. We tried it. I was opposing it. No, we should not have a girl being selected even if all things being equal. We should just take whoever. And we did that. And in an IIM, which is the Board of Governors have, I think all of them are double our ages. Most of them are, suppose I'm an exception there in more ways than one. And we have increased the percentage in the last 5 years from a sub 20 to a above 40. We abolished the Best Girl Student Award this year because the girl student is the topper last 2 years.
That's the belief.
So that's the belief and that's the mandate. So as organizations, are we having policies in translating that belief into reality?
I want to thank our panels for spending time with us. It's been a fantastic discussion. You've been a great audience. Thank you so much.
Well done, folks.